Hi, in this lesson we want to talk about asymptotes. Now, asymptotes refer to a vertical and or a horizontal line that a graph tends to as x approaches a specific value. Now, the keyword here is tends to. We did not say that a graph will cross or a graph will touch. So those two conditions are ones that are never met when we have an asymptote, and you're already familiar with some of these asymptotes. The best example would be to use a hyperbola. Now, a hyperbolic function would look, let's say, something like this, where these lines here, these dotted lines, which are supposed to be straight, but I cannot draw straight lines. Okay, these dotted lines refer to the asymptotes of the function, and generally we have our function as such. As we can see, the function approaches the asymptote, but it never actually touches the asymptote or crosses the asymptote for that matter. And within the definition of the hyperbolic function, we have f of x is equals to a x minus p plus q, where x minus p is equals to 0, or rather x is equal to p, is the what we call the vertical asymptote, and y is equal to q is the horizontal asymptote. And it's kind of counterintuitive, but that's the way it makes sense. So this line here will be x is equal to p. As you can see, we have minus p here, but we have positive p here. Make note of that. And we have y is equal to q over here, which is the horizontal asymptote. So we have vertical and horizontal asymptote. Some functions only contain one of these, such as the exponential function or the logarithmic function, but those are the only graphs that you deal with that contain any sorts of asymptotes.